All right, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be installing this radar mount harness kit, which is for powering your radar detector to switch power so you can get rid of your, the OEM, that's a screwdriver, or the supplied connector and giant cable that hangs down from your windshield and the radar detector. One of the problems I've noticed with this radar detector, and just specifically this cigarette lighter position, whatever, in general, is that anything you have plugged in here, especially this thing, since it's kind of giant and just sticks out, when you're shifting, even like from third into fifth, more so, you're jamming your fingers just into this connector here. So with this harness kit here, it deletes the need for that giant monstrosity, and you basically just back probe this into the back side of your powered mirror. You find the connector, find switch power and ground, which is fairly simple, and then it just plugs directly into the back of your radar detector. So this is the radar detector I have, and yeah, it just plugs directly into there. A short harness that's back probed into a switch power connector and power source, and turns on with your car, turns off with your car. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. All right, so first things first, what you're going to be doing is removing the trim pieces on the back side of your mirror here. If you just take a screwdriver, or I use a plastic trim tool as to not damage the trim, that works best. But I understand some people might not have those tools at their disposal, but you could use a screwdriver. Just be careful. I went right from here and just kind of stuck in between the little groove and just give it a little twist, and these two trim pieces just come apart like that. They just fit together in these couple clips right here. This little trim piece, this little extension right here, fits into the back side of the mirror right here. So make sure that is retained in there when you put it back together, but they come off extremely easy. You may have to just kind of move the mirror around a little bit. Ignore my mustache on my mirror. That is an inside joke. And then the connector that we're going to be dealing with is, if this light will get out of the way, is right there. So we're going to disconnect that and go from there. All right, before we get into the actual installation, I just wanted to give a quick little review kind of thing, explanation on what comes in this kit. So you get your harness, which comes with the connector to the radar detector, two little back probe connectors, and the harness. You get another set of back probe connectors for a smaller version of connector, and then also instructions on the rear of the packaging. So it's fairly simple little gadget here. Here's the part number if anyone's looking for it. I got it off Amazon. It was like 20 bucks, I think, but that's her. So we'll get back to the install now. All right, so looking into this a little further and using some resources that I have, I decided to use this plug right up here that plugs into like the rain sensor and a little module up front here. So basically what's going on is the power wire, if I can get this to focus, the power wire is connected into the red, and the ground cable is connected into the brown wire. And as you can see, I have this run down here, and we're going to plug this in really quick, and I will show you that this thing works. All right, so I just plugged this into here. As you can see, let's unplug it here. Unplugged. I can do this with one hand here. Boom. And again, it is hooked up right into this
K-band, Ka-band,
sensor up here.
laser,
Little little back probe action that's not too damaging, if anything, to those little pins there. But now we're gonna put this trim piece back together and then try and make this wire look nice outside of the trim so you don't see it very well. So that's it, super simple. All right, so before I hooked it all up, I wanted to show you. So I have the this will focus. I have the trim back on here. Windshield's a little dirty, but I just kind of routed this underneath the trim. There's a little space underneath the trim. You can put it whichever side you want. That side, this side. It's, you know, free to move to whichever side. So nice little space. But now I'm gonna plug it in and get it placed all properly up in here, and make sure it works when everything's back together. And I will show you guys the end result. All right, so this is where I have it mounted right now, directly in the center of the vehicle, just underneath the rear view mirror. So it has a clear view of through the rear and also through the front. I would like to eventually, the same company, Radar Mount, makes a mount that mounts right up to the back of your mirror that holds it basically right here, facing the rear of the vehicle. But for now, this is perfectly fine. And as you can see, the wire is just connected, real short wire instead of this massive thing hanging down from here across your entire car, and also getting in the way of your hand there, at least if you have a manual. But the car's off right now. As you can see, it's off. We're gonna turn to accessory on.
X-band, K-band, Ka-band, laser.
As you can see, it works great. I'm gonna turn it off completely, and boom. I'm honestly super happy with it. I wasn't sure, I'm not a big fan of like shortcut kind of stuff like this, but it works well enough and is designed well enough to where it's not damaging the rear ends of those pins there. It's not a super tight fit, but just enough to where it's not going to come out of there, but also not damage that rear end of that connector there. And one more for good measure. There we go.
X-band,
Cool.
K-band.
But yeah, that's it. So super easy install, 20 bucks on Amazon. Again, here is the this will work for any car that has like a powered mirror or power going to the mirror. So Amazon, like 20 some bucks, super easy, and makes life for me way easier without that giant cable in the way. So yeah, that's all. Appreciate you guys watching.